guys, Anna here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another speed build. Today we're in the world of Brindleton Bay and we are building a family tiny home that could fit easily a family of 4. And this is a build that is, so it's located in the kind of fisherman's pier part of the world, and we're on the lot where I think it's Katrina Lynx, is that her name? That particular sim lives with all her cats. This particular lot is interesting because obviously it doesn't have any grass, so I did have to adjust how I landscape, and I think I end up painting in some grass with a terrain tool, so that was a little bit challenging. The main struggle I had with this build is it started out as one thing and then ended up into a completely different product. So I started out wanting to do like a really colorful kind of build, like as you can see here, the pink, and it has the flowered door. That door actually comes from, I think it's Nifty Knitting. I think we do end up keeping the door, but the whole color scheme of the home changes. The floor plan also changes. So I've cut all of that out, but initially I had a completely different floor plan. The one thing that I wanted to add in this particular build was the Murphy bed, which we are placing here. In the other tiny homes you've seen this month, I haven't used a Murphy bed, and I was like, I wanted to make sure that I had a tiny home that could fit a decent sized family. All of my other tiny homes are 1x1s, so I wanted to kind of challenge myself with this particular build. So that's why we have just kind of jumped, and you can see that the house is kind of semi-furnished, and that's because the whole concept changed for me. So I had a moment when building this where I looked at it, I wasn't happy with it, and I was like, nope, we're removing the back. We're removing the back porch. We're changing the colors. We're redoing the roof line. We're changing the floor plan entirely, and we end up having this really nice kind of brown scalloped with the sliding wallpaper. So this does use a little bit of cats and dogs. I think I do keep the same roof swatch because I did look around in the neighboring kind of buildings and it had that kind of jagged stacked roof tile, so I kept that. I have used the backyard stuff fence. This white picket fence. I don't think I've ever used this, and I really liked it. There's something about it being in this kind of little pier area that it just kind of makes it a little bit more residential as opposed to it being like a building, like a business. And I think that that's really important for this particular space. So I've added that in. I've gone in with the base game hardwood flooring that we got when high school years came out as part of the update to kind of fill in the dirt. And then I've just gone in with a grass terrain tool. I'm just checking what color fence I want to do. I think I do change it to the more beige color because it matches the sliding that's on the home. And yeah, it just turns into just like a more I guess basic family home, as into something that was meant to be bright and colorful and all of that. But no, I'm really happy with that change, and I have used a little bit of cats and dogs. Obviously, it being in Brindleton Bay, I like to use the pack content that comes with the world because it's complimentary. I think the windows we use, I'm trying to remember. Yeah. Oh yes, university. We use university. I was going to use the business and hobbies windows, but they're quite big, and I think they are really designed for medium to tall wall height. Sometimes some of the windows, they're compatible, but they don't look as good. So yeah, change the windows. I love these trees that come with cats and dogs, so I've used those here today, and I've kept the landscaping quite simple. I did a lot of layering with my landscaping. I'm really trying to get better at my landscaping. This build doesn't have a backyard, so it's all in the front. And towards the end of the build, you'll see we do end up putting some pet items, some pet training items, and just like a simple seating area that I would normally do. But yeah, so a little bit more about this build. So obviously it can house, so the Murphy bed, you've got 2 Sims there, and then it's got, I believe we've got a child's room and a toddler room. Now the toddler room is it's very small. It's very small, but it still counts. It's a room, and you know, toddlers in The Sims 4 don't need a whole lot, so you could easily have like an infant or a baby in that space as well. You just probably wouldn't be able to fit a changing table, but like it's fine. It'd work for gameplay purposes. This build is available on the Sims 4 gallery if you'd like to download it. It's my gallery ID is Antoinette44. It is in the description below. And yeah, you can check out this build and some of the other tiny homes that we have built for this month. But yeah, this is probably my favorite build in terms of just like the process I went through. Like, I'm really proud that I stuck with this build and just adjusted it and tweaked it. And in the end, I, you know, was super happy with how it turned out. And I think it's actually would be quite a fun build to play in because it's a tiny home. So you're getting all the benefits of the tiny home, but it's a family home. So that's good. All right, so I've amended the floor plan, which you wouldn't have seen the original, but the original, I had the bathroom in a different spot. So we've moved the bathroom to the front of the build. So you enter in, you have an entryway, you have a bathroom, you have a very small kitchen that's kind of tucked away in here that has a little dining table. And then we add in the second bedroom, which is the toddler's room. It's a very tiny room. And then that bedroom down at the end of the property, that is a child's room, and it stays a child's room. Like it stays a room. That room doesn't really change. As you can see here, I'm just adding in that tiny space, and yeah, it's tiny. So it's quite interesting to have a 2x1 bedroom house, but like neither of the two bedrooms are a master bedroom. Yeah, so it's quite interesting. So yeah, so the Murphy bed obviously doubles as the bed, and obviously that's the living room space. We do put in a study nook. As I said, I move the toddler bed into that little space. And yeah, I really like this. I think it's quite a nice space. And I was so happy when I came up with the floor plan because it was so needed. The other floor plan, it just wasn't working. This build is quite it's quite like, it's just like a giant rectangle with a few little bump outs. So it's very hard to kind of work out where to place TVs. In the end, we do use a lot of stuff from Tiny Living. We use a TV, paintings, some decorative items from Tiny Living. We use obviously the Murphy bed. I don't know if I keep this desk. I think I use the business and hobbies desk in the end, the one tile wide one. I use this little tea and mug decor piece. Love that piece. I use that piece all the time, even in non-tiny homes, so that's quite good. Yep, just swapping the desk out. I think this rug might be from Cats and Dogs. Same with those chairs that we've got there for the where the computer is. These curtains are from Cats and Dogs. I love these curtains. There's something about them that is so cool. And I thought that with the tiny home, I think it looks okay. It's not, I didn't think to have like floor to ceiling curtains. So yeah, I like it. All right, so I thought, okay, I've got to add in some pet stuff. So I've moved the bin and put a pet bowl out in the hallway. It's not the best, but I think it's a good use of that space. And I think when you're building tiny homes or micro homes, you really have to learn how to like use the space well. And that's like something that I struggle with decorating. I tend to have very spacious decorating. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed that little challenge that we've had this month. Let me know in the comment section down below your thoughts on tiny homes. Do you enjoy tiny homes? Do you play in them? Yeah. What are your thoughts? This kitchen is so fun. So this is the country kitchen kit paired with, obviously there's some cottage living, there's cats and dogs, there's base game. We've got the kettle from For Rent. We've got a whole pile of kitchen clutter that comes from the kitchen clutter kit. What yeah, Backsplash is from Home Chef Hustle. It's honestly like there's so many packs just in this one space. But yeah, I love it. I love the feeling that it has. I really love the kitchen clutter kit. It's such a good kit. I'm a fan of kits. I don't have all of the kits. One of the kits that I'm kind of dabbling into getting is the Castle Estate kit, just because with the new pack that's come out, like some of the wallpapers and stuff just pair so well with Enchanted by Nature. So it is, I am dabbling. I might put it on my Christmas list. Yeah. All right, where are we up to? Are we up to the bedrooms? Potentially. Yes, so this is that tiny room. I believe I just moved the bed and put in a Bluffy, and I think I call it a day because there really is no room in that space. So it's a bit sad, but it's okay. It'll work. All right, this is their child's room. So I've used the kind of bunk bed with desk underneath instead of an additional bed. They're from Dream Home Decorator. That's from, I've put in the toy box from Growing Together. And I don't think I put too much else on that space. In that space. Oh, I give them a rug. I give them a rug. And do I change the swatch? Yep. I decided to put the Wabbit, which is the tablet that's for the toddlers. I thought that would be really genius in this kind of home, just because like for gameplay purposes, there's not a lot of space for them to do their skill building. So if they have the tablet, it just helps. Put in like a kid's mirror. I do think I squeeze in the potty in the bathroom. Hopefully I remember. It is a bit of a tight squeeze. It is a really awkward shaped bathroom, and I did have a little bit of trouble with it, but I think I made it work. I think I've just squeezed it in by the door there. This sink is from Tiny Living. This mirror is from Cats and Dogs. The toilet's from Tiny Living. The bath shower tub combo is from Base Game, and I've put in these like little kids towels just for some decoration and a robe. And I believe, yep, that hanging piece is also from Tiny Living. A lot of Tiny Living in here, which is good because like it's a tiny home. All right, we are now outside and we're just going to decorate that kind of outdoor area. So as I mentioned, I put in some a pet training obstacle. I did have to extend the backyard a little bit more just because we didn't have a lot of room. So I just put in the picnic table that came with, the bench table came, Cats and Dogs and a grill, and just, touching up the landscaping, maybe putting in a little bit more dirt. And I think we will be moving into the tour, just putting in the final touches. All right, we are live in game and we are going to go through the home for the tour. You enter in. And you have your little entryway that goes into the bathroom, into the kitchen. Really nice in there. You then go down the hall into that toddler's room. And then through the arch into the main living room, which has the Murphy bed for the adults. Down the hall into the child's room. And then outside you have that seating area, the obstacle course, and that is all. That is the build today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you really enjoyed this build as I did. If you'd like to see more, please consider subscribing. I'd love to have you on the channel. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye for now.